Yooka-Laylee, for those that don't know and have just clicked this video because that is a really strange name, is basically the spiritual successor to one Banjo-Kazooie. Now, if you're old and broken like me, you understand how exciting that is, mainly because Banjo-Kazooie is one of the best platformers from the late 90s. If you're young and fresh, you probably think everything I'm saying right now sounds like gibberish, but trust me when I say that both games are very good. Or at least that's how Yooka-Laylee is shaping up at the moment anyway. Unashamedly wearing its heart on its sleeve, this feels like it rolled out from 1998 and just ensured it picked up enough upgrades and updates along the way to ensure it fits in with the 2017 landscape. It never takes itself too seriously, has a great sense of humour, and most importantly, is just a lot of fun. And games recently have forgotten what fun is. Asking that you collect a bunch of pages from a magic book that's been stolen by a humanoid bee, and yes, you did hear all that correctly, Playtonic Games' platformer is as solid as a rock. If you're not trying to scale something in the environment, you'll be taking on enemies with an array of moves you learn as you progress, and each and every level you unlock is more over the top and wacky than the last. For the purposes of this playthrough, we were taken to Tribal Stack Tropics, which could very well be the greenest video game world you've ever seen in your life. Instantly, however, you start to realise just how much each of these nuggets offer. Aside from allowing you to move the narrative forward, which don't forget is all about trying to stop a bee that's come to life, the amount of collectibles there are to find is only matched by an impressive array of characters to meet and side quests to get involved with. In just over an hour, I'd already had a race against a cloud, helped Shovel Knight find some treasure, and saved a skeleton from being eaten. If that sounds like a hell of a lot to do, that's because there's a hell of a lot to do, and from what I can take away from my experience, that's barely scratching the surface. It certainly doesn't hurt that getting more of these pages allows you to expand the world further. Even when you think you've seen it all, Yooka-Laylee is ready to surprise you. It's a great way to make sure you don't get bored. That seems unlikely to be the case regardless, because it's so colourful, it's like your eyes are on vacation. Too many games these days are all like, yeah, browns and greys, but here it's an assault of the aforementioned green alongside yellows, blues, reds and purples. It looks and feels like a platformer should. This is backed up by how it controls. While admittedly it's slightly fiddly to begin with, I was slightly terrified Yooka or Laylee would just rocket off the side of a cliff if I was too aggressive with the left stick. In no time at all, it becomes second nature and you start to realise what you can and what you can't get away with. This is so important for the genre, as you'd imagine before long you'll be asked to execute some pinpoint jumps and leaps. I have a good feeling everything is in place, so that won't be the equivalent of pulling teeth. If you know what that means, it means it's better than it being bad, because bad isn't good. It's a testament to the game that we've got this far, and I haven't even mentioned Trouser, a snake who basically serves as your hookup from start to finish. On hand to dish out new moves, advice and abilities, he's essentially how you level up, and each manoeuvre you do learn can then be used to unlock new areas or finally finish up missions you weren't able to do beforehand. It's all very smartly put together and somewhat nicely, never overly complicated. You can play this, your mum can play this, and possibly your nan. I mean, you'd have to teach them the controls if they're not used to a video game. There's still going to be a learning curve there. Obviously, an astronaut doesn't go straight into space as soon as they've got the job. It's not like day 2 they go to the moon. You got to learn the finer details first. But that's the feel Yooka-Laylee has. It's for kids, it's for adults, it's basically for anyone who just wants to sit around on a lazy Sunday and enjoy a game for the sake of enjoying a game. It's very refreshing. The key will always be how it develops and builds over its running time, but the pedigree of the developer is a good indicator that we shouldn't have to overly worry. The likes of Banjo-Kazooie, and the ludicrously named Banjo-Tooie, were expertly made, and there's nothing here to suggest that history won't repeat itself. The nice thing at the moment is that few companies are focusing on games like this. The fact it's heading back in 2017 is just an extra treat. There's every chance this sparks a revival of sorts, which would be nice, as most platformers these days have to feature sad piano music as some silhouetted kid runs around in a warehouse. That's fine and all, but variety is the spice of life, which is even more poignant when I tell you at one point during my adventure, I was tasked with sorting out an upset air vent's sore throat. And again, you didn't make that up in your head, I actually said those words out loud. I spent around 2 hours with Yooka-Laylee playing the game from its starting point, and I'm pleased to say I'm now of the opinion that I want to play some more. It's also quite funny and isn't afraid to tell the odd joke, which will make you roll your eyes. But eye-rolling humour is the best, so for that, I salute you Playtonic Games, and I salute your upcoming title too. Good work, pals. Good work. Unless you now screw it up, of course. Then I will consider this a betrayal, but I'm confident that won't be the case. So just in case you didn't understand any of that and would like a quick summary, in short, Yooka-Laylee is really good and will probably be one of the best platformers this year, especially if you were a fan of Banjo-Kazooie back in the day. And even if you never played those games, this would still serve as a great jumping on point to figure out if they're for you. So it's a win-win. Unless you play it and don't like it, then it's a lose-lose, but it's just a video game. I wouldn't worry about it too much.